Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys and gals. And today, what I have for everyone is my full review of the Samsung Galaxy Buds, the first generation. So I've been using these bad boys for well over 2.5 weeks, and I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions on them, and that's what I'm getting ready to talk about and cover with y'all in this full review. And hopefully by the end of this review, you guys and gals know whether or not these earbuds are worth picking up. So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to jump straight in. So, recording this video here today, we are using the rear-facing 12 megapixel camera on the Pixel 2 XL, and this is being recorded in 720p at 30 FPS using a third-party camera app with no external microphone hooked up. So please let me know what y'all think of the overall video quality as well as what you think of the overall audio quality down below in the comments. Also, if you guys and gals enjoyed this video and or you find it helpful in any shape, form, or fashion, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. And if you would like to see more content like this, also feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. As always, if this video piques your interest and you would like to know where you can find links to everything that I talk about and feature in this video, all the links will be available down below in the video description. So as always, if your interest is piqued, down below in the video description should be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. Alright, housekeeping done, now let's dive straight into this full review. Now starting off, the first thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals is the overall build quality and design of the buds themselves. So let me pop them out of the case here. Alright, and then we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at the buds themselves. Okay, so now let's get started. So talking about the overall build quality and design of the Galaxy Buds, I have to say Samsung has done a great job. Now this is primarily constructed out of your plastic materials, and it's kind of your glossy plastic materials at that, but the ergonomics, the shape, and the design that they decided to go with here actually makes it extremely comfortable and extremely durable, and I've used it with no problem. So I'm actually a big fan of this overall design, as I am a big fan of this overall build. So the overall build quality and design on the original Samsung Galaxy Buds are top notch in my opinion, and I haven't had any issues. So good stuff, Samsung. Good stuff indeed. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals now is the overall core features of these buds right here. And I gotta say, Samsung, when it comes to the core features, you guys did a great job except for one thing, but we're going to get into that a little bit later on. But let's talk about the core features of these earbuds. Alright, so core feature number one, and this is a big one for me, these bad boys incorporate Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity in them and functionality. So what does that mean? That means that we can live that truly #wireless lifestyle. So good stuff there, Samsung. Even though it's not the latest and greatest Bluetooth, for what it is, it's really good. So I like that. Bluetooth 5.0 technology built into these bad boys. Core feature number two, and this is probably the only downside that I see to the core feature set, these bad boys incorporate the IPX2 sweat and water resistance. And to me, the IPX2 is probably one of the lower water resistance ratings. I would have liked to have seen at least IPX5, but as I said in some of my previous videos, I've taken these to the gym, I've taken these on multiple workouts, and I've gotten sweat all over them, and they've actually gotten wet, and I've had no issues. So although I would like to have seen a higher IPX rating, that IPX2, at least they included it. It's better to have it than not have anything. So it is what it is. Okay? Core feature number three, these bad boys incorporate a dedicated microphone on each earbud. And the microphone is right there, as y'all can see right there. So you have a microphone on this earbud, and you have a microphone on this earbud, and spoiler alert, the microphone on these is top notch in my opinion, but we're going to dive into that a little bit more later on. So really good to see that core feature as well. And the last set of core features, and these are my favorites, these bad boys have an easy two-step pairing functionality to them, so it's extremely easy. We're going to walk through it in this video so you guys and gals know exactly how to do it. And you can use these earbuds in independent mode, so one at a time, or in stereo mode. So you do have that dual functionality use there. So you can decide whether or not you want to use one at a time or use both at a time, and you shouldn't have any issues. So really good core feature set in my overall opinion. Now let's keep it moving here. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys and gals about is the overall sound quality, the volume, and the bass. Now, in terms of the overall sound quality, this is another category where I say Samsung has done a great job. There were literally no distortion on the low or the high ends of the volume spectrum, so the overall sound quality, in my opinion, is top notch. And in terms of the overall volume, these bad boys get extremely loud, but I like that the fact that it doesn't get uncomfortably loud. So there's no distortion on the high end or the low end, as I've said, and they do get loud enough. So really good job there, Samsung, with the overall volume. Now, when we talk about the bass on these is what I would like to call nicely balanced, okay? It's got just enough punch to it to where you can feel it, but it's not overbearing. So this is what I would call some really good bass. Now, is it the best I've experienced? No, but for what it is, it's really good. And I have to, throw some more kudos on the design for this one. Because of the design of the earbuds, it actually lends itself well to some nice isolation, making the overall bass and sound quality and volume that much better in my opinion. Okay, so let's recap that one more time. The overall sound quality, top notch. The overall volume, top notch, and the overall bass is really good in my opinion. All right. Next, now let's briefly talk about the microphone quality. Okay. Now, I've used these earbuds to do just about everything you can think of, whether it be dictating voice commands with my various assortment of devices, whether it be Samsung devices, whether it be Pixel devices. I've used a ton of devices with these earbuds, and I have to tell y'all, the overall microphone quality, let me put this down so it doesn't drop, on these buds is really good in my opinion. I've had no issues. Again, whether I was dictating text, taking or making phone calls, dictating emails, or interacting with my various different voice assistants, the overall microphone quality on these is top notch. And to take it a step further, for the phone calls that I did take with these, callers said I sounded very nice, crisp, and clear, and they didn't have any issues. And that to me is probably one of the best ratings you can get with earbuds. For a caller to say, wow, you sound like you right next to me, or you sound really crisp and clear, what you using? That means that these bad boys were really good for taking phone calls and doing anything that needed to take advantage of the overall microphone. So kudos in this category as well, Samsung. Y'all did a great job with the overall microphone quality and performance. Now, moving on, let's now talk about the pairing steps and go over the button controls. And if you check out my unboxing and first impressions, we kind of already did a brief, real quick walkthrough of the button controls, but we're going to go over it here in depth, in full detail, right after we go through the pairing steps. Now, for best results, I would recommend that you use a Samsung device. This way you can get the absolute maximum functionality out of the earbuds, but these steps will work on any Android device, whether it be Samsung or otherwise, and they'll work on iOS devices and Windows devices as well. So if you have a laptop, desktop, tablet, smartphone, these pairing steps and these controls are going to work. Just based on which device you have, you may get more or less functionality depending on the device that you have. That's why I would say I recommend that you actually get a Samsung device. This way you get maximum functionality out of the earbuds. But it is what it is. Now, in order to take advantage of and get maximum functionality out of the earbuds, we're going to need a few things before we pair up the buds. Number one, you're going to need to go into the Play Store and get the Galaxy Wearables application. All right? Next, after you download that application and you install the necessary plugins for either your headphones or your Galaxy Watch or what have you, the next thing you want to do is turn on Bluetooth on your device. Okay? Then, after that, we don't need to worry about pairing the buds in the traditional sense because the pairing process will get taken care of through the Galaxy Wearables application. So we're going to launch the application here. Okay? And okay, it's on my smartwatch. Sorry, y'all. And we're going to go to add a new device. Okay, sorry about that. And right here, you're going to go to the first option, which says Galaxy Buds and Galaxy Buds Plus. Okay, I'm going to go to that. Okay, and now it's going to begin the setup process. Okay. Now, while it's scanning, what you need to do is you want to go ahead and put the buds back in the case. Okay, just to make this process easier. So we're going to go ahead and put the buds back in the case. Alright, just like that. And then we're going to close the case. Alright, and we're going to let it sit. Now, it kind of timed out. So we just want to do scan again. And then all you want to do here is you just want to open up the case. Ow. Dang, I just hit myself in the head. Alright, so after that, you're going to let it scan, and then over here, you'll see in the wearables application, it's going to come up with the Galaxy Buds there. My bad, y'all. Let me shift the camera back around. So y'all can see right there, we got the Galaxy Buds and we got the model number. So you just want to tap on that. Okay. And it's going to begin the setup and the pairing process. All right. So just like that, you let it go, and then you're good to go. Now, I've done this before, so you can see it didn't really take me through all of the steps, but once you go through that process, it's then going to walk you through a brief tutorial on how to set up the buds. It's then going to also walk you through setting up your notifications, okay? Whether you want all your notifications to show, or you can go in and you can select what notifications you want to show, okay? So it's going to walk you through that in that startup initial tutorial, and you can also check off the options to hear your notifications aloud, all right? And then along with that tutorial, it's also going to walk you through the earbud controls, all right? So we're also going to do this as well, but I want y'all to see this. So y'all can see right here, it's going to walk you through what the earbud controls are. So it's a touch sensitive sensor on the side. So one tap for play and pause. Okay. Okay. Double tap for next track on either earbud. All right. Then we got triple tap for previous track on either earbud. All right. And then lastly, we have press and hold functionality. All right. And you can also lock the earbuds so the touch sensors don't work. Now, I would recommend if you're using these in the gym and you don't want to, you set up your workout playlist and you don't want to skip through it, because some of us make playlists that play straight through, I would recommend that you lock these, because depending on how much moving around you do, it may potentially trigger some other functionality. So if you're using these in the gym or in any scenario where you don't want it to accidentally go off, I suggest you turn on that lock. Okay? Other than that, when it comes to your touch and hold functionality, you can reconfigure it for either earbud, whether it be the right or the left. So you can use it to bring up your voice assistant. You can use it to turn on your ambient sound functionality. You can use it to turn on the quick ambient sound, and you could do volume up and volume down. Okay? Now, I prefer to use it for voice assistance or volume up and volume down. And you can configure it as you would like. So you can configure it to where the left is volume down and the right is volume up, and you could change it vice versa. Alright, but me myself, I find myself toggling between voice assistants and volume up and down. Now when you select voice assistant, it gives you the voice assistant on either earbud. You can't change that. But if you have the newer Galaxy Buds, you can indeed change that and you will get more additional functionality. But just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to actually showcase both. So we're going to turn on voice assistant here, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to turn on the volume up and down so y'all can see. Okay. All right. Now, another thing that I want to mention as well is that on your newer Galaxy devices, you will get a nice little pop-up visual representation when the earbuds are connected. But since we're using an older Galaxy device, we don't get that visual representation. Now, if you're using the newer buds with a newer Samsung Galaxy device, not only will you get a connection visual representation, but you'll also get the battery percentage for the earbuds and the battery percentage for the case. If you're using the older buds, you're only going to get the battery percentage for the earbuds themselves, and you're not going to get the battery percentage for the case. So if you're using the older buds and an older device, you'll only ever be able to see the battery percentage on the earbuds themselves and not on the case. I just wanted to point that out as well. Okay? Now let's briefly go through the button controls in real time so y'all can see how everything works. Alright, so let me pull up YouTube Music here, and we're going to go ahead and go into the My Device section, and we're going to find some copyright free music here so we can go ahead and show y'all how this works. Now, for music controls, you do need to have music active, okay? But for everything else, it's just going to work when music is not playing. So when you activate your voice assistant, as long as nothing is playing, the voice assistant will work, and I'm going to show y'all that in a second here. All right, so now let's run through this. Let me pick, let's pick some music here. So let's start with this. Okay, and let me go ahead and take the buds out so y'all can see, because it is connected. So let's take the buds out, and they are fully charged, as you can see there. Now, it thought that it was in my ears because of that sensor that I already talked to you guys and gals about. So in order for this to work correctly, and you can see as soon as I removed it, it stopped because it's like, oh, he took it out of his ears. In order for this to work correctly, I'm going to need to put one bud in my ear so it knows that I have the earbuds in. So let's use the left. Let's do that. So let me put the left in real quick, and I kind of mixed them up. My bad. This is the right. Let me put the left in. All right. Okay, and I got that audible tone, so it detected that I did put the earbuds in. And now, just for showcase purposes, I'm going to show y'all on the buds themselves right here. So for play and pause, all you got to do is tap it one time. All right? And I actually got to start it for that. So let's go ahead and start it. So play and pause, you just got to tap it one time. So tap. It's going to pause. Tap again. And it's going to play. All right? And you'll get nice little audible prompts when you're doing anything. So you get like a boop, boop when you're doing certain things. So that's for play and pause. Now, if you want to go to the next track, it's just a double tap on either earbud. So tap, tap. All right? And it goes to the next track, as y'all can see right there. All right? So let's do that again. And it goes to the next track. All right, cool. If you want to go to the previous track, it's a triple tap on either earbud. So let's do that now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Previous track. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. And you go to the previous track. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Just like that. Okay? Good stuff. Now, if you want to use your voice assistant, all you have to do now is pause the music, just tap on it one time, and then you want to press and hold for about 1.5 seconds, and you'll see the voice assistant come up, and then we can ask it a few things. So let's go ahead and check the weather here. So let's press and hold. My bad. Okay, what's the weather like in Palm Bay today? Alright, and we'll get some nice feedback right in the earbuds. So good stuff there, and it works no problems. There y'all go, so you can see it in real time, and once again, that's going to work on the right or the left earbud, as y'all saw. Now, as I said, if you want to get the volume controls, you got to jump back into the app. You want to go down to touchpad, and then you want to switch it from voice commands to volume up and down. So let's go ahead and change this now, and we'll make the right one volume up, and we'll make the left one volume down. All right, so now I have to put the right earbud in so y'all can see. All right, cool. So they're both in. I got that audible prompt. Let's go back to the music and let's push play. So the music is playing, and let's volume up. Okay, I got a nice little prompt there letting me know that it's maxed out. Okay, and let's volume down. Okay, and you also get a nice little prompt there letting you know when the volume is going down. All right, let's pause that real quick. Now, on your newer Galaxy devices or Android devices, you will get a visual representation, but because I'm using an older Galaxy device and an older Android device, y'all saw we don't really get that visual representation of the volume going up and down, but you will get a visual representation on your device as well as an audible representation when you do anything with the buds, whether it be volume up and down, skip our next track, so on and so forth. Even interacting with your voice assistant, you will hear and get the necessary audible prompts. So that is really, really nice. So that goes over the overall pairing process with the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Now, one thing I want to mention is that you can pair up the buds without getting the Galaxy wearable application and use them like regular earbuds, but if you do it that way, you won't get full access and to all the features that the buds offer. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can get rid of the Galaxy wearable application on all of my devices and just connect these up as some regular Bluetooth earbuds, and I went over those steps a bunch of times, so I'm not going to repeat it here. But it will work whether you want to use the wearable application or not, but I would recommend that you use the wearable application so you could take full advantage of all the features. Alright, so that goes over all of the pairing steps and the earbud controls. Let's keep it going now. And yeah, actually we don't need this in here no more. Let's take that out. Put that off to the side. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals now is the overall Bluetooth range and the overall Bluetooth strength of the buds themselves. Now, I was kind of sad about this one because in terms of the overall Bluetooth range, you know, it took a lot of research because I'm like, man, I'm using them and they had Bluetooth 5, and I thought Bluetooth 5 has a standard range of about 10 meters or 33 feet. But I'm using them, and I'm like, man, it's disconnecting, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, yo, I still got a bunch of feet left inside of this 33 feet. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Let me figure out what's going on, because I did my regular range and strength testing, and I'm like, yeah, the strength don't seem that good. And then I Googled it, and I did some research, and I was like, wow. So the actual range on the first generation Galaxy Buds is 6 meters or 20 feet. And I was like, what? So you have the Bluetooth 5.0 standard, but you don't have the standard range. And I'm like, okay. And then once I adhered to that 6-meter or 20-foot range, I didn't have any issues. So the actual range and strength on these is really good as long as you stay inside of the designated range on the buds. That being said, I do want to point out that I was getting some little disconnects where both earbuds were connected. Sometimes I get some crosstalk and one would disconnect and then reconnect. So that did happen a little bit more than I would like. So the overall connectivity on the buds is a little bit of a negative there, but in terms of the overall range and strength, as long as I stayed inside of that designated range, it was pretty good. Okay, so the Bluetooth range and strength on these is pretty good. Not the best I've seen, but pretty good. Okay, moving on now, let's talk about a really big category in my opinion. Let's talk about the overall durability, because you know your boy is Mr. Clumsy. So Bluetooth products or any product in general needs to have high durability in order for me to use it on the regular. And I'm very happy to report that in terms of the durability on the Galaxy Buds, these are really, really good. And I haven't had any issues whatsoever, and they still work as if the first time I took them out of the box. And guys and gals, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it with y'all. I just recently restarted my gym membership and I've been going hard. Okay? My philosophy is, if church is for the soul, then the gym is church for the body. And when I go to the gym, it's maximum focus when we hit the machines. Okay? So I've been going hard with these earbuds in the gym. And on the days when I don't go to the gym, I still adhere to my regular body weight routine. I made a video of that. I put it up on the channel. I might link that down below if you want. Just leave a comment and I'll link it down below. But I've been going hard with these and I have not been babying these whatsoever. So they have dropped a lot. How much? A lot. Okay. And to put that into perspective for y'all, if I pan down here and forget a mess, y'all can see we got wood floors. Now, where I stay, my home is a combination of wood and tile floors. Okay, so we don't have much carpet. So every time these earbuds dropped, they were dropping on either wood or tile. And even if you go to the gym, I'm actually a Planet Fitness member, by the way. Even in the gym, they have that texturized floor, so it's kind of non-slip, but it's still not a grippy surface. And happily enough, these didn't really fall in the gym, but around my home here and doing my regular routines, I did drop them a lot. Like, they fallen off of my bed, they fallen off of my nightstand, they fell out of my pocket, you know. But I'm very happy to report the overall durability on these is top notch. But you still want to be careful. But if you're super clumsy like myself, they're more apt to survive your clumsiness. Okay? So the overall durability on these is top notch in my opinion. Alright? Now, moving on, let's get into another important aspect of these earbuds. Let's talk about the overall charge time and the overall battery life. Okay, let's go. Now let's start off with the overall charge times first. And I'm very happy with the charge times on these buds and on this case. Now I had to do some research because they didn't really say it on the box and they didn't really say it online, so I was kind of stuck to my own devices on this one. And with my research and testing, these buds take about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes to reach a full charge. And the case itself, if you plug it in via the USB Type-C charging port, it takes the same amount of time. So if you plug in wired, it's going to take an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes to reach a full charge. So when we talk about the charge times, wired, that's pretty good. And we talk about the buds themselves, that's pretty good as well. And that's from completely dead or low battery. So regardless of how heavy you use these, it's going to take an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. So really good stuff there. Now, one thing that I want to mention is when you get a low battery on these, all right, you will get a little beep, okay? So it will beep about 3 times before the buds power off, and then you know you need to charge it. But the overall charge times on these wired are really good. Now, when we talk about the wireless charging times for the case itself, the wireless charging times on these took anywhere from 2.5 hours to 3 hours, okay? So it doesn't have the absolute fastest wireless charging, but the fact that I can just drop these on any one of my wireless charging pads and not have to worry about plugging it in, that's really, really good in my opinion, okay? So the overall charge times on the buds and the case is really good in my opinion. Now let's move on and talk about the overall battery life. Now, Samsung, the manufacturer, quoted that these buds should last you about 6 to 7 hours on a full charge, and the case should get you an additional 7 hours. So what does that mean in my actual testing? That means that you're pretty much going to get 2 charges out of the case. All right. So to put that into perspective for y'all, I tested these at 35% volume, 50% volume, and 75% volume respectively. And with my style of mix usage, I was getting anywhere from, on average, 6 to 8 hours. Okay. That's 6 to 8 hours regardless of what I did. All right, and keep in mind, I'm an extremely heavy user, so your results may vary depending on how you use the buds. And just so y'all know, I tested out the ambient sound, but I didn't really like it too much. Now, there wasn't anything wrong with it, but it's like I just prefer to take one earbud out and have one ear open than try to use the ambient sound, because when I'm doing what I'm doing, I need to be able to hear around me, and the ambient sound, although it did work and I didn't have any problems with it, it just wasn't the best. It didn't feel natural to me, and it was kind of awkward every time I tried to use it. Okay, so there was that. But talking about the battery life, with my particular testing and my usage style, I was getting on average anywhere from 6 to 8 hours on a single charge. All right. Now, to break that down for y'all, that was in stereo mode. Now, when I used the buds in independent mode, then I was actually able to double it up. So on the low end, that means that I was getting 12 hours on a charge, and on the high end, that means that I was getting 8 and 2, 16 hours on a charge. All right. So that's really, really good battery life in my opinion. Now, for overall battery life, it does need some improvement, because 6 to 8 hours, that's not going to cut it in my opinion. But for extended battery life using the case, that 12 to 16 hours, that's pretty good. But the battery life overall does need some work in my opinion, even though the charge times on these is really good, if not top notch. Okay, so that goes over the overall battery life and the overall charge time on these buds. Now let's keep it moving. Now, I just want to briefly summarize the positives and the negatives of the Galaxy Buds. Then we're going to wrap this video up. We're going to talk about the price, and I'm going to give y'all my overall final thoughts and a recommendation or two. So, starting off with the positives. As I said, I really like the overall build quality and design of the buds. They're extremely comfortable and extremely durable, which means they're really good to use for extended sessions. The overall core feature set of the buds is really solid, so that's another great positive in my opinion. The sound quality, the volume, and the bass are really good, even though the bass could use a little bit of work, so you can put that into the negative or the positive if you would like, okay? The overall microphone quality on the buds is really good in my opinion as well. Alright, the overall durability is top notch. The charge times are top notch, so on and so forth. And you're getting all of this for a really great price in my opinion. Okay, now that goes over the positives. Now let's talk about some negatives here, okay? Negative number 1, all right? The overall battery life needs to be 10 hours plus, in my opinion, okay? The fact that you can get 12 to 16 hours in independent mode, but you can only get about 6 to 8 hours with regularly, that needs to go up by a couple hours. So we should be looking at 10 hours plus minimum, okay? So the battery life does need some improvement, even though I hear the Buds Plus does improve on that overall battery life. So when the price does drop on the Buds Plus, I might bring those in and give that the full review treatment as well. But for the original Buds, it's good, but that battery life definitely needs some improvement. So that's a negative as well. And some of my other negatives, and there's really only 2, okay? The other negative is there's no percentage readout anywhere on the case. Okay, so we really only got the LED to tell us what's going on. And Samsung does a good job inside of the app letting you know what to expect from the case. So a green LED, like what y'all see right there, that means the case is fully charged 100%. A yellow LED means that it's about anywhere between 50% and 75%, and a red LED means it's anywhere from about 0% to 25%. And just so you know, you'll know when the battery case is low because you'll get a flashing red LED. That means that you need to charge the case. Alright, so it works, and they do a really good job inside of the app letting you know what to expect, but I would have loved to have seen a percentage readout for the case. So that's kind of a negative there, all right? And as I said earlier, the overall base on the Buds does need some improvements. Even though it's really good, it can be better, all right? So that pretty much sums up the negatives in my opinion. So once again, the battery life could be better. They really need to throw in a percentage readout, and the overall base could be better in my opinion. Alright, and once again, as I always do, I'll throw up a full list of the positives and negatives in post so y'all know exactly what you need to know. And if I missed anything, please feel free to correct me down below in the comments, because as always, I'm not perfect. I do make mistakes. We're only human, y'all. Alright, but that pretty much summarizes the positives and negatives. Now, let's get into the final part of this video. Let's talk about the overall price, get into my final thoughts, and an overall recommendation or 2. Alright, so these Galaxy Buds, as I said, are the first generation. Alright, and when they first came out, I think they were about $150 when they first came out. Now they hover anywhere between $60 and $100, and I was actually able to get these used, renewed from Amazon for just under $60. You can call it $60 just to make it easy. It was like $59.95 or something like that. Check out the screenshot. I'll have it up in post so y'all know exactly what I paid for these, because as always, we're all about keeping it straight 100 around here, okay? But for that price of $60, can I recommend y'all pick these up? Well, if y'all don't want to drop the extra money to get the newer version, the older version will serve you just as good in my opinion, okay? So if you really want a really good pair of Bluetooth earbuds with a ton of good features and you don't want to break the bank, I can recommend that y'all pick these up. That being said, I wouldn't recommend paying any more than $60 for these, okay? You definitely don't want to pay any more than $60 for these. And honestly, I'm probably going to wait till the Buds Plus drop to that same price point, because paying $150 and upwards for some earbuds, nah. I don't even pay that much for headphones. And y'all know I'm really big on my headphones. But that price, that's like smartphone, computer, tablet prices. I'm not going to pay $150 something for earbuds. Not going to do it. But $60, that's the sweet spot on these, and I can recommend these if you're picking them up for 60 bucks or lower. All right? So can I recommend these? Yes, but it's all about the price that you pick them up for. All right, y'all. So I think that pretty much does it for this video. As I said earlier, I hope you guys and gals enjoy it. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will catch you guys and gals in my next video. Peace, everyone. Have a good one. We out of here.